Welcome back to Enablement Uncanned. It's Mark here.
And Sarah, hey everyone, great to be back.
Good to have you. And yeah, just a quick note for everyone asking about Jack. Yes, he's out again this week.
Again.
I know. Apparently his cat required some extensive post-podcast therapy after last week's session. We won't go into details.
Probably wise.
But we are assured he'll be back next week. We do miss his unique input.
We do, yes. Look forward to having him back.
So today we're diving into something that you, the learner, are probably bumping into more and more often. Generative AI.
It's everywhere.
It really is. And specifically, we want to unpack where these, well, fascinating tools actually pull their answers from. You know, it's kind of funny, isn't it?
How so?
Well, here we are trying to figure out how AI processes information and spits it out. And in a way, that's kind of what we do, right?
I see where you're going.
We take in all this stuff, articles, research, our own notes, and we try to boil it down, find the important bits for you. So maybe we're like, I don't know, biological generative AI. Slightly less silicon involved.
That's an interesting way to put it. We're definitely synthesizing information.
Yeah.
Extracting the signal from the noise, perhaps.
Exactly. Signal from noise. And the mission for this deep dive, it feels pretty crucial right now. Because open source generative AI, it's popping up everywhere.
It really is becoming more common.
Which means it's more important than ever to, understand where the information is coming from and why that's just vital if you want to trust what it produces.
Absolutely, because you, the learner, you're seeing these tools, you're hearing the buzz, but maybe you've also got that little voice asking, can I really rely on this answer?
Yeah, that healthy skepticism.
And it's totally justified. As these things get woven into how we work, knowing the data's origin, its provenance, it's just fundamental.
Okay, so let's make this real. Let's talk about the classic frustrating experience, the rogue stat.
Ah, yes. The LinkedIn special.
Exactly. You're scrolling, you see this amazing, or maybe alarming, statistic. Looks interesting. There's a link. You think, great, let me check the source.
So you click.
You click, and the blog post it links to, well, it cites an older blog post.
Oh, down the rabbit hole we go.
Precisely. And that one cites another one. Before you know it, you're like 3 clicks deep, the pages are looking older and older.
And eventually.
You hit the wall, a 404 error, page not found.
Yeah, classic.
And suddenly, that statistic you saw, your trust in it just evaporates. And maybe you even side-eye the person who shared it a bit.
And the scary part now, with tools like ChatGPT making content creation so easy, is how these old, maybe iffy stats can get laundered.
How do you mean laundered?
Well, if those questionable stats were floating around in the massive data sets used to train these open LLMs, these large language models, the AI might just spit them back out.
Ah, so the AI inadvertently gives them a fresh coat of paint.
Kind of, yeah. And it makes tracing them back to the maybe unreliable origin even harder. The AI becomes this sort of unintentional amplifier of old problems.
And that is exactly the kind of mess, that trust-killing situation we want you to avoid. Whether it's your own blog post, a slide deck for a big meeting, even just a quick social update.
Nobody wants to be patient zero for AI-resurrected misinformation.
Right. So it boils down to this really fundamental question, especially looking ahead, say, to 2025. Do you actually know where your AI is getting its data?
It's a critical question. Because, okay, chatbots can crawl the live web for current info, which sounds great on the surface, super efficient.
Right.
But their reliability isn't, guaranteed. We've all heard stories or maybe experienced it, the famous AI hallucinations.
Where it just confidently makes stuff up.
Exactly. Confidently wrong. And it's telling, isn't it, that so many of these open LLMs now come with little warnings like, hey, maybe double check this answer.
Yeah, check for errors, which tells you something right there.
It really does. It underlines the uncertainty that's still baked in.
Okay, but here's where it gets really crucial, I think, especially for business use. Just checking for errors. I mean, that's okay for casual stuff, maybe. But if you're making actual business decisions based on this or talking to customers, checking isn't really enough, is it? You need more certainty.
You need actual trust. Robust trust in the underlying sources. It's not just about avoiding factual errors. It's about understanding the lineage of that information. Where did it come from? Is it solid?
So how do we get that trust? Where does AI data actually come from? Can we break it down?
We can. Broadly speaking, you can think about AI data sources in 2 main buckets, internal and external.
Okay, internal first. What does that mean?
Internal sources are basically, well, your company's own stuff. your proprietary data sets.
Like what?
Think company documents, internal training materials you've created, your databases, your CRM system, your content management system, all that information that lives inside your organization.
Got it. The stuff you create and control.
Exactly. And the key benefit there is that this data has usually been vetted, right, by your own teams. So you generally have much higher confidence that it's accurate and actually aligns with what your company is trying to achieve.
Makes sense. So what about the other side? External sources. What's in that bucket?
External is, well, pretty much everything else. The vast ocean of information outside your company walls.
So the internet.
Web searches, definitely.
Yeah.
Social media feeds, market research reports you might buy, the general knowledge baked into the large language models themselves, third-party data sets, even things like government publications.
Wow, okay. So that's a huge range of stuff.
It is. It offers incredible breadth. But here's the trade-off, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
You have way less control.
Less control over it. What exactly?
Over the reliability, the accuracy, and whether that information actually fits your specific business priorities. It might be true, but is it relevant? Is it up to date? Can you be sure?
Right. So it's this constant balancing act. Scope versus certainty.
Precisely. Relying only on internal data might be accurate, but too narrow. Relying only on the wilds of the internet gives you range, but questionable reliability.
So the smart move is probably using a mix, triangulating, maybe.
Exactly. Using multiple sources, internal and, where it makes sense, vetted external ones, lets you cross-verify. It helps you get outputs that are not just plausible, but actually reliable and relevant. Which leads us nicely into this idea of knowledge scopes.
Knowledge scopes. Okay, that sounds promising. Like a way to get a handle on this chaos. What are they?
Think of them as, like, guardrails. Define boundaries for what your AI is allowed to know or access. You're essentially telling the AI, okay, you can pull information from here, here, and here, but not from over there.
So you're curating its library, in a sense.
That's a great way to put it. And platforms like, for example, Bigtincan's GenieAI let you configure these scopes. So a primary use case is focusing the AI on your company content.
Or internal stuff we just talked about.
Exactly. Your sales one-pagers, your solution briefs, those win-loss reports that have so much insight, case studies, product info, playbooks, training modules, even data from your CRM.
All the things we know are accurate and relevant to us.
Right. By pointing the AI squarely at that curated set, you ensure the answers it gives are contextually spot on. It speaks your language, reflects your reality. It's tailored.
That makes a ton of sense. Keep it grounded in what the company knows. Are there other types of scopes, though? Or is it just internal docs?
Oh, absolutely. Another really powerful scope is using analytics from within the platform itself.
How does that work?
Well, the AI can be set up to analyze data about how people are using content, what's resonating, what's effective. It pulls insights from user activity and content performance.
So it learns from how things are actually being used. That's clever.
It can be very insightful for refining strategies. Then, of course, you can leverage the LLM's general knowledge, for broader context, maybe helping draft initial content. But crucially, you can often fine-tune or guide what parts of that general knowledge it uses.
So you still have some control even when using the big general models.
Ideally, yes. And finally, a really important one, approved web searches.
Okay, so not just search the whole internet.
Exactly. You set parameters. You tell the AI, okay, you can search these specific websites that we trust, maybe key industry publications, regulatory sites, partner websites. It gets you live, external data, but from credible sources that fit your company policies.
Got it. So it's about creating these controlled zones of information for the AI. Seems much safer, much more targeted.
It is. And managing these sources using things like knowledge scopes, it's critical for more reasons than just accuracy, actually.
Oh, like what?
Well, beyond just getting the facts right, it's about setting boundaries because, let's be honest, every data set, internal or external, can have its own biases or assumptions baked in.
That's a good point.
And one massive reason to manage sources is simply ensuring correct information gets to your customers.
Yeah, that seems fundamental.
When the AI draws from curated, reliable data, you get meaningful insights, accurate answers. Think about the flip side. What if your sales rep, using an uncontrolled AI, quotes an old price?
Ouch.
Or promises a feature that doesn't actually exist anymore, or maybe isn't released yet? That instantly damages trust. It could kill a deal.
Absolutely. You can't risk that.
So managing the sources directly reduces the risk of those kinds of errors hitting your customers.
Okay, crucial for customer trust. What's another big reason?
Compliance. Maintaining compliance with all sorts of data regulations globally.
Ah, the legal stuff. GDPR, CCPA.
Exactly. Using AI in business comes with risks. Data privacy, security, transparency, potential bias.
Yeah.
It's a minefield.
Mm-hmm.
If your AI isn't using controlled, accurate information, especially when dealing with sensitive stuff like product safety details or customer PII,
Personal data, yeah.
you could inadvertently fall afoul of those regulations.
Yeah.
So careful source management is also a compliance necessity. It helps ensure you're handling data responsibly and accurately.
So it's accuracy, trust, and staying legal. Seems pretty compelling. What about the practical benefits, then, of having these customizable knowledge scopes? What does that unlock day to day?
Well, a huge one is the ability to really tailor content and access to information.
Tailor it for whom?
For different users, different teams, different tasks. Think about it. Your executives probably need high-level summaries, strategic analytics.
Right. Big picture stuff.
Whereas your sales reps out in the field, they need detailed product specs, competitor info, customer history, maybe specific objection handling points.
Now, very different needs from the same system.
Exactly. With configurable scopes, you can say, okay, the exec team's AI access pulls heavily from these analytics, dashboards, and strategy docs. The sales team's scope prioritizes product databases, CRM data, and maybe these specific approved competitor websites.
So everyone gets what they need without wading through stuff irrelevant to them.
Precisely. It delivers the right information to the right people at the right time. And it allows you to securely blend your own proprietary knowledge with, say, up-to-the-minute external data from those approved sources.
That targeted delivery seems really efficient. What's another advantage?
Another key benefit is finding the right balance between general and specific knowledge.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about a really good salesperson. They need deep knowledge of their product, their industry, their company, right? That's the specific knowledge.
Sure. Table stakes.
But they also need broader skills and context, general sales principles, market trends, maybe just good conversational skills. That's the general knowledge. A good AI should work the same way.
Ah, I see. It needs both.
Exactly. The knowledge base should combine that rich, company-specific data with relevant general information or context so the AI can help generate responses or insights that are not just accurate, but also nuanced and personalized for the situation.
So it's not just a fact retrieval machine. It can actually help construct more effective interactions.
That's the goal. And one final benefit I'd highlight is how this helps eliminate the info dump.
The info dump. You mean just getting way too much irrelevant stuff back?
Exactly. Nobody wants to ask a simple question and get pages and pages of vaguely related stuff they have to sift through. It's frustrating and wastes time.
Been there.
Right. So by training the AI, or rather scoping its knowledge to the data that's truly relevant for specific roles or tasks, you make it much more context-aware.
It understands what you're likely looking for.
Yes, and tools like Bigtincan's knowledge scopes are explicitly designed for this. You define the source's specific company content subsets, platform analytics, LLM knowledge, those approved web searches we talked about.
The zones of knowledge again.
Exactly. The result is that when you ask the AI a question or use an AI assistant, the answers are far more targeted, focused, and useful, which is huge for sales enablement, customer service, really any role.
And presumably that customization also helps protect sensitive info.
Absolutely. By tying scopes to user permissions and roles, you're also adding a layer of security, ensuring people only access the information they're supposed to, even via the AI.
Okay, this has been super insightful. It really clarifies why just letting an AI loose on everything isn't the best approach. The big takeaway seems to be, if you want accuracy, reliability, and importantly, compliance, you have to manage and control your AI's data sources.
That's it in a nutshell. It's about being proactive, moving from just checking the AI's homework to actually curating its library and setting its curriculum.
Curating its library. I like that. So here's a final thought then for you, the learner, to chew on. Think about the AI tools you might be using now or the ones your company is considering. Do you really know what information they're drawing on?
What's feeding the machine?
Yeah. And what's the potential impact of that on the accuracy of the answers you get, on the trust you build or maybe erode with your customers, on your overall business? It's definitely worth some serious thought.
Could agree more.
Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for walking us through the nuts and bolts of AI data sources.
My pleasure. It's a critical topic right now.
It really is. And thank you for tuning in to Enablement Uncanned. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.